Hey everybody, welcome back to Just Chatting, the Saturday thing that I guess intermittently do, because I didn't do it last week, but I hope you enjoyed the Toad Noir, because that was my Saturday thing. It took like an hour, but you know what? It's probably the best thing that I have created and ever will create, so enjoy. But anyway, as you could probably guess from the topic or the title, not title of the thing, assuming I decided to actually name this what I'm planning to name, I don't see, unless some very strange series of events takes place, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. Anyway, they were talking about games, which is essentially the entirety of what this channel is, so I thought, that seems like a rather, topical thing to speak about. Is games and how they have affected my life and my. I guess my life is just generally everything. So yeah, my life. That's it. So yeah, I thought I'd go through and maybe talk about the games that I've particularly enjoyed and spent a lot of time playing and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say that when it comes to games, I'm not well versed in games. That's sort of been something that I'm working on. That's kind of one of the goals of this channel, to be perfectly honest, is to try and get better at my game knowledge, because I've watched a lot of games played, but I have played very few. But like the amount of games that I've played so far in the last like couple of months, honestly, I think is equivalent to the amount of games I've played over the course of my entire life. That's probably not true, but that's what it feels like. Um, but yeah, with me in particular, my family has always been a very Nintendo centric family. So we had a Wii, a Wii U, we had the DS's, 3DS's, Switch, all the things. So pretty much all the games that I played early on in my life, and even quite later, like up until last few months, were pretty much all games that can go on those consoles. So the first game that I ever played, like legitimately, was a very short, kind of odd uh, game that was for the Wii that I looked it up beforehand. I'm pretty sure I found it, but it's called something like Freddy Fish Investigation. Um, it's the secrets of something or another. I don't know, but it was a point and click adventure game about a fish. That was that was the first video game that I ever played. So, could really top of the line stuff for me starting out. But I played that, and that was, I mean, the like 10-year-old me found that thought it was incredibly fun. So I guess it had held some entertainment value. But moving on from there, the game that I played after that mostly is probably the game that has legitimately had the most influence on my life. Like no joke, and that would be the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga for the Wii. Like that game, I must have put so much time into that game. With with all the different side things I did. I went almost to 100%ing that thing. Like, I never did because as a small child, there were some things that I really didn't understand. And to like the point where honestly I would love to play that game again. Um, just to try and see if because my abilities with platformers have definitely gotten much better. To just try and see if I can beat it. Let's just see if it holds up. Obviously, graphically, it's going to look hideous, but either way, like that would be one game that I would love to have is a remastered version of that game. Like I know they recently put out a Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, a new version, but it wasn't it wasn't the same game, so like it was not quite what I'm talking about. But either way, but yeah, that game I'm pretty sure like I was introduced to me by my cousin. And that's what I'm drawing here in this video is me and my cousin playing this game because I remember we played it a lot. He had each of the games individually, I do believe. The like each of the chapters or movie games individually, which I always thought that was pretty cool, but I never actually saw played, so I don't know what they were like. I just knew that that's what he had. So when he was over here, he played the complete saga with me. Um, which he's I think like 5 years older than me, somewhere around there. So like, it was a very interesting dynamic, but fun nonetheless. Then moving on from there, like obviously a lot of more cooperative games. I guess like Mario, Super Mario Brothers, the Super Smash Brothers, games like that where I played a lot with like my siblings and my dad, and that was all was a lot of time spent there. Later on, then I went ahead and played a lot of Legend of Zelda games. Like I played six in total. All like one after another. Like it was one summer where I was like, all right, I'm just going to play as many of these as I can get my hands on. And so in like a couple of weeks, I just played through a bunch of like the Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. Is that it? So five, yeah, somewhere around there. There might have been another one, but I forget right now. But yeah, and then with my general disposition towards games, I honestly never paid attention to much outside of the games that I was given. So when it came to things like the computer games, I really did not know anything about that world until I started watching YouTube and I learned about an entire other world of games. Really, the first game that I latched onto and spent a good majority of time playing would be Minecraft, which I think a lot of younger kids and like me, that's a lot of what we would first be introduced to. But yeah, me and my siblings played a lot of Minecraft together. Um, I know that I, on my own, definitely did much, but not as much as when it was with other people. But that was my only computer game for a while until eventually I found another one through my friends, which was Terraria, which is interestingly enough, the second game that I played on this channel as well. So that was a game that I don't think I put in as much time as I did with like Minecraft, but I definitely played that one a lot as well. But those two were, I feel like my only two computer games that I played for years, like a long time. One, because my computer was so bad that it couldn't run any other games. But two, there weren't a lot of other games that I felt interested in playing that, again, would be able to run on my computer. But with with YouTube being around, I really just live vicariously, I guess you could say. So watching other people play games, and even though I couldn't, still enjoying the games and getting to know what it was that a lot of people my age and older than me really seemed to enjoy. But it wasn't really until a couple years ago that gaming really took off for me. I'd say that it was right around when I had a group of friends where they all played things like Minecraft, but they also played a lot of other games that were cooperative, and so I started getting into those as well because they were computer games that seemed to run at least decently on the very bad computer that I had. And so I did that. It lasted a good while, not too terribly long, I'd say, but a decent amount of time. But then recently, as of like, I don't know, I'd say a year ago, I got a new computer, the one that I use now, which is a very technically good computer, even though it has a faulty battery, so it doesn't seem to have a great concept of when it's on and off, or plugged in and not plugged in, which you guys have struggled with me in. I know that I've complained about it a good deal, made an entire video complaining about it. But once I got that computer, I was able to actually play games and get games that I wanted to play. So then I got stuff like, Rogue Legacy. I got stuff like Rogue Legacy. I got the what's it? I played a lot more Terraria. But I didn't really even again play a lot of games. Recently with I think it was my birthday, I did get Assassin's Creed, the second one, and I'm honestly looking forward to trying and playing that one, which I've put off for a little bit, because my siblings also enjoyed watching it, but they're doing school, so I want to save that for them so they can watch me play as well. But as I'm basically learning more about gaming history, the more I'm realizing like just how much there is for me to try and play, and how short 3 months feels. Like it's even closer to 2.5 months, where it's like I feel like this 2.5 month span here is really going to be the most games that I'm going to play in a long time. Because college is just going to keep getting harder and harder for me, so I don't know. I'm honestly going to try and keep the channel up for at least a little bit after I start college, but I really don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep it going. It's definitely going to be something else. But yeah, I was looking at the person there on the left of the screen. That's how I used to draw myself. I went back and took a look and looked at some of my older drawings to try and draw old me, because that's a younger version of me. I had short hair and the little back thing that always seemed to stick up. The Emmett hair is what I called it, because the Lego figure of Emmett had that. But yeah, with games in general, I feel like a lot has changed for me over the last few years, and I like to think that it's positive. It's definitely wasted a lot of time and time I could have spent doing other things, but I mean, I'm sort of I'm growing kinder to the philosophy that time you enjoyed wasted is not time. It wasn't wasted at all, and like that, it sounds nice. Whether or not it's true or not, will be determined. But it definitely uh, strikes strikes my fancy, I guess you could say. But yeah, with everything that I've been doing so far, it's definitely definitely put me on a track. Who knows? Maybe this will be a bigger part of my life going forward, even past these couple more months that I've got to do the channel. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to figure out what's in store for me, even though I'm not I'm not particularly great at video games, but either way, that's gonna do it for today. So thank you everybody for listening to me ramble. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Hasta la vista, and always remember the fish.